With the whole world coming online literally, what kind of threats are the most damaging ones and how do organizations deal with them?
In the present cyber world, no company is safe. There can be any motivation or objective behind an attack. It can be corporate espionage, business disruption, or financial gain. But these attacks are becoming more and more sophisticated and pervasive. Mounting a good defense requires understanding the offense. According to me, the most damaging threats are ransomware, password attack, DDoS, phishing attack, man-in-the-middle SQL injection, and insider attack. Ransomware as a threat has really picked up over the last 5 years, as cyber criminals are using highly sophisticated tools and techniques to disrupt the remote workforce and coerce the organization into paying large amounts as ransom. Not a day goes by where you don't see a news of the latest victim of the massive losses that they have incurred. There is a seemingly exponential increase in the frequency and the damage caused by the ransomware attacks. And the loss is not only ransom, which is now commonly goes to around 7 figures, but the loss of revenue, restoration costs, investigation costs, in case where the ransom is not paid. For an organization, source of threats can be hackers, nation states, criminal groups, terrorist organizations, terrorist groups, activists, malicious insiders, corporate spies, anyone. And the loss is not only the financial damage, it can also lead to lawsuits, reputational damage, penalties by the regulators, business continuity disruption, and much more. Now, how to deal with those threats? First of all, we need to assess as to what do we need to protect in our data and IT infrastructure. Know what the crown jewels are, what assets hacker may try to steal or hold ransom. Identify the vulnerabilities, understand how to manage those risks. Data is the new oil, but not all the data is of equal importance. So we need to categorize and prioritize it on the basis of criticality and confidentiality, keeping in mind business, revenue, and operational impact. Since every step that we take to protect it, there's an X amount of cost attached to it. Then we need to assess our available resources in terms of budget, manpower, expertise, security tools and infrastructure, and so on. The next step will be to take an expert help from an external security consultant or in-house security team to analyze the current security landscape of the organization and identify the gaps. Make a task list to cover the gaps on the basis of criticality of the risk. Also make sure that the security advisor has some knowledge of your domain. It will really make your job very easy. Then an organization should be compliant with the data regulations and that apply to their industry and geographical location. They should be updated with the new compliance regulations to leverage the benefits it brings with it. Most of the time, organizations implement compliance taking it just as a formality in order to avoid penalty or punishment. Since it's a half-hearted approach, the quality of implementation and the security benefits by implementing those policies and procedures are reduced drastically. Then we have cyber resilience framework in place to respond to emerging threats and recover quickly from a cyber attack. Next, transfer the financial risk by getting a cyber insurance. Also, while forming the policies, make sure the fundamental security concepts, that is the CIO triad standard, is met by the organization. Then take care of few basic but important cyber security concepts that are at times people tend to overlook, like install patches and updates as soon as possible. Take proper backup of your data. Set up a well-planned BCP-DR with timely testing. Use multi-factor authentication. Initiate phishing simulations. Configure your firewall to whitelist only the specific ports and hosts you need. Keep your password strong. Continuously audit your IT systems. And finally, train your teams to be human firewalls. Provide timely training to your team, and it should start from the top.